Hi, it's day 19 of our Walk to Wealth, our prosperity coaching, the gratitude game. I'm Natalie Pace. It's today's mantra, sanctuary home and sacred community. So we should all be able to wake up in the morning and feel like we've been nourished and nurtured. If you do not live in a sanctuary home, and there are many people who don't, let's face it, then please reach out. There's help. There is help. There are community organizations that can help. There might be a friend or a family member who can help. And you might just need to take the first steps. And a lot of times you don't see more than a few steps ahead of you, but it is important to wake up in a sanctuary home. If you're lucky enough to already have that, then it's important to realize that it takes a village to give sanctuary to home, to various people, including yourself. So, a good community is going to have park spaces. It might have friendlier streets that are friendlier to bikers and to pedestrians instead of just, cars zipping around everywhere and accidents. So it's even you doesn't mean you have to run for city council, become a politician. I firmly believe that if each of us does exactly what our heart is called to do, then the work gets done. I might not be doing something that you're called to do, but I'm doing my thing. And collectively, it hopefully will all get done. And this can be on a macro scale, like again, making sure streets are friendlier to pedestrians and people on bikes. It could be improving the colleges and universities that are local. It could be improving the public schools for K through 12, and that really could use a lot of help, helping to reinstall more opportunities for music and art, especially for kids. There's a very strong focus on, science, math, and engineering, and and computers, that sort of thing. And now we're knowing that it's not just that, but that we also have to add the A. We have to add in the arts. So why is that? It helps us develop creative thinking, problem solving, in addition to making life more fun, which makes you want to do these things, right? So find that thing in your community that you can also make better. It definitely is going to make life better for you as a person, as an individual, for your family, but collectively it's good. Now, one other thing I want us all to consider, and I outline this more in The Power of 8 Billion, it's up to us. So most developed world countries, actually Europe's is pretty small comparatively. Most developed world countries and some developing world countries, not all, have a very large CO2 footprint per capita per person. So the people in definitely the Middle East, definitely Australia, Canada, and the United States have a very high CO2 footprint per person. That means we use a lot more energy. We're putting a lot more pollution in the air per person. Okay. Yes, China is the number one polluter, but when you consider that they're the factory to the world and how many people they have, the CO2 footprint per person is much lower than the rest of the world. It's also much lower in most European countries, which means that we could have a decent standard of living and a lower CO2 footprint as well. So when we're thinking about creating beyond just our own sanctuary home, but also that sacred community, we could also extend it even further to being in a better partnership with our planet. So what I would say, how does that work? That means that, look, the bigger the device, the more energy it requires. So we could think about, do we have to take the elevator everywhere we go? Or can we reserve it for that time when we are carrying a big load and the rest of the time take the stairs? That's one example. After we put solar panels on our home, should we think about doing it for the school? By the way, if you did something like that and the school is now got, paying 1/10 of what it was on electricity, that might be the answer for bringing more arts and music and fun and education, physical education back into the school. The same thing could hold true for water. A lot of states are having to cut back on their water usage. Well, the low hanging fruit on that, both for you personally and for your community, would be to, put in native plants and take out grass if it's not native to there. In Las Vegas, Green Our Planet has been doing this for many years. They're saving hundreds of millions of gallons of water in the school, which saves a lot of money. They put in student gardens instead, which make money because the students sell their organic produce. So, sanctuary home is the first key because if you are not safe, healthy, happy, and empowered with all of these, mantras that we've talked about, it's you're not going to be able to do it for your community. But once you are, you can. And it's not a lot of extra work. And it can be a lot of fun if you're doing it in concert with other people. So today's mantra, sanctuary home, and also sacred community. See you tomorrow. Natalie Pace, nataliepace.com.